What is up, everybody? Dan and the Fireman here. We're going to be going over some crashes and close calls, figuring out how they happen so that we can not do them ourselves, especially if you're a brand new rider. But instead of just focusing on this, go out into a parking lot and practice some drills. These are parking lot drills. You don't need a big parking lot. There's 20 drills in here. If you get the cone kit, it comes with 10 cones. That's all you need anyways. But there is a sale going on right now in the shop. Links in the description. Go practice 20. You're going to get 20% off of either just the drill booklet or the cone kit that comes with the drills. Practice those tight turns, figure eights, the U-turns, all that stuff, especially if you're going to be practicing for your test that might be coming up, or if you just want to get better. So let's go ahead and jump into this. We do have some crashes here. Very good. MotoStar is finally coming out with some stuff. Here we go.
In today's episode,
Oh, he's got a pack talk. There's also a link in the description for 10% off with the pack talk.
Something from them, so
Ooh, that guy came really close. I think he might have did that on purpose. Maybe not. Who knows? But that's one of the problems and one of the hazards out there. So focus up front. Go ahead and get a little bit closer in that space cushion. Oh. If you guys don't know what he just did, I want to point this out. If you're in a group ride, this is very important information to do, especially if you can't talk to each other on a Cardo Pack Talk. It's much better to do it that way. Him putting his right leg out. That indicates there is road debris to the right. Or there we go. We'll do that. Road debris to the right. Doesn't have to take the hands off the handlebars. He's indicated there's road debris. That guy's having a swerve. Very good. But he's indicating to us in the back that there's road debris. That's pretty cool. You don't get to see that very often. Good swerve. Amazing swerve. Another good swerve. You don't want to run over that. But if you have to, might have to. Good job. Yeah, that's a Cardo Pack Talk edge. Very nice. Close shave. Student driver almost hit me. Oh, geez. That's a beautiful area. Is that like the old Microsoft wallpaper? Ooh, look at the swerve. Very good swerve here, too. I love it. That's going to be in his, he went for his escape path. He's swerving out of the way. And it's part of the plan, right? You have to navigate those active hazards. So there it is, plan method. So we want to position ourselves in a good spot, locate hazard situations. Hey, that's hazardous. Assess, is it a relevant threat? Yes, it is. We're going to have to navigate ourselves away from it. Not good, but good job with the swerve. Slowed it down, checking his heart rate. Probably going to check real quick right here. Hopefully he has brown pants, so it's not showing. But overall, pretty good. Okay, anybody coming into our lane? No, side of the vehicle. Side of the vehicle. What's going to happen here? No, nothing. Good. Oh, little beamer. Stop! It looks like they reached for that brake, but accidentally applied the gas. They panicked. That BMW driver panicked and accelerated versus stopping. She got a little animated there. So it looks like she panicked and didn't get her foot off the gas. So I think she was trying to apply the brakes, but not very smart. Not very good either. What is this all about? I don't get that part. Let's take a look at the bike, though. We need to get a thumbnail. Gotta make sure the bicep. Gotta make sure that bicep looks good. Here, all right, let's go. Nighttime riding, so we have hazards of visibility.
Somewhat overestimated it.
Good job stopping.
That he's glad he's wearing the right gear that day.
Uh-oh, that means he crashed. So green, double check. Watch out for loss of traction here. Oh. Don't slam the brakes. Okay, so if you see that was a little bit of a panic. Yeah, you got it on camera. Thank you. Hopefully the bike's doing fine. He just kind of slid.
At least I caught it on camera.
Oh, hopefully his exhaust is fine.
Damage assessment. And it's on my leg.
Are those foam noodles on his bike? Anyways, so we come up to here. Let's take a look. So we're doing fine. We picked up speed. Not really that big of a deal, but just kind of watch out for the rear tire to spin out. Okay, as soon as we see this, don't apply the brakes when you're in the water. Don't apply the brakes when you're in the water. Don't accelerate when you're in the water. We're going 43. We're doing fine. We have enough speed to get us out of that situation. So what do? Pull in the clutch. Roll off the throttle. Just kind of coast through it. Keep the handlebars as straight as possible. Maintain good body positioning. Don't like lean off to one side and try to keep them hands straight. No, keep hands straight, upright. Coast through it. Just coast through it. You just go. Because if you accelerate when you're in the water, if you have less traction because of the water, it's going to spin. If you apply the brakes hard in the water, it's just going to slide across. Okay? So just kind of coast through it. And then once you get on the other side, friction zone throttle control, might have to shift gears, to a lower gear, whatever it is. Good. You're good to go. Don't panic. Right here, we panicked. So how we slowed down from 45, and now we're applying the brakes. Rear tire starting to slide out. Probably applied too much rear brake. Let's see if we can see how far that water really goes. So it looks like it was almost ending. And then we just dumped it. Overall, pretty bad situation. But just like he said, just like MotoStar said, is that he wore gear. So part of being a smart rider is acquiring and using personal protective equipment. Just in case our skills fail, we're protected. And protect your bike if you can. It can get pretty expensive, but do your best.
And it's on my leg.
What do we got here? What do we got here? Okay, we switched. Hey, we did an open lane pattern. So if you didn't see the last video that we talked about, we recognized that this car is going slower than what we want, so we moved over. We did the open lane. We switched over lanes. So just realize it's a human behavior. It's not just cars. And we did it to the next lane because we didn't want to be behind this guy. And then there's this side of the vehicle. So we have a line of sight problem. We'll go ahead and go over it. Applied the brakes. Very good with progressive braking so that we can allow that person to go through. So this is an open lane pattern. We switch lanes because we don't want to be stuck behind that vehicle on the right lane. And since we switched lanes, we don't want to be stuck behind the vehicle in the middle lane. So we switched lanes again. Not a big deal. Just do your head checks. Make sure you check your mirrors. Don't worry too much. If there's a car there, just kind of sit there. Not a big deal. But it's a line of sight problem. If you don't know what line of sight is, there it is. So we have a side of the vehicle, line of sight. We cannot see the vehicle coming out because this car is blocking us, which means it's blocking them. But they also jumped out in front of other cars. So that car driver that pulls out in front of everyone, not very smart, but we have an issue with line of sight. So when it comes to positioning for safety, we always want to have good line of sight, escape paths, and a space cushion. We have a great space cushion. We have great line of sight in front of us, but we do see sides of the vehicles. Got to be kind of concerned about that, but do your best. And then, our escape paths could be swerves, brakes, acceleration, all that stuff. So we come up to here. So that person did jump out in front of other cars. Not very smart. The person's applying the brakes, whatever it is. We need to now have good total stopping distance. Now, we don't have to stop. We just have to perceive, react, and start braking. And what we're doing with braking is applying good progressive front braking so that you're going to start to do this a little bit on the bike. When you apply that front brake, that means you got weight on that front tire. You can apply more and more and more to slow down even more and more. And in this situation, all we're trying to do is buy ourselves some time so that we don't run into the side of this vehicle right here. We're not trying to stop because we don't want to get hit by anybody behind us. But if you could do an emergency stop, that's kind of cool. But we're just trying to buy ourselves some time so they can get out of the way. And so when they get out of the way, see where my hand is on the lane. So let's say they're right here and we run into them. Well, if we applied some good progressive braking, we might be able to now get close to them when they're like this, which means we have this open gap for that escape path, which is exactly what happened. So this is a really good visual of applying the brakes, open lane patterns, line of sight issue. It's very cool. Barely. I mean, you can see just that small little gap. But if he didn't apply the brakes, the vehicle would be like this, and we would be right here. So applying the brakes bought him time to allow the vehicle to be a little bit further, and so that he could basically get through this escape path behind the vehicle. You see what I mean? So it's not always about stopping. It's not always about swerving. Sometimes it's about applying the brakes really well to buy yourself some time. So practice your braking in a parking lot. So good job on this rider. Good job on him. All right, roundabout, orange stage. We're prepped and ready for anything like the weirdo. Had to lay her down. Had to lay her down. Oh, geez. Uh-oh, our foot. Okay, very good. We got it out of there. So right there, that's, I love footage. I just love footage. So right here, let's see. Let's get our foot back underneath it. Okay, here we go. On motorcycle boots, there's usually like a little puck right on the, I want to say malleus. It's not the malleus. Right on your ankle bone, that little thing that protrudes a little bit. So there's a little puck there, and it's just like like TPU, thermoplastic and everything like that. But that's going to absorb some of that impact just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's going to help out, and it's going to help you so it doesn't collapse on you for the most part. So that could hurt really bad or break your ankle. And so this is why in motorcycle boots you have that crush protection on the side sometimes. And sometimes they're more rigid. And you typically see like super rigid motorcycle boots when it comes to like sport bike boots, MotoGP boots, or like, track day boots, and even off-roading boots. So that it's going to prevent a lot of that collapsing. Regular shoes don't prevent that collapsing. And then also think about your toes too. Okay, your toes are going to get smashed. So just in case something happens, this is another reason why you wear that kind of gear. You wear motorcycle-specific gear. Because that would hurt. That could break an ankle. And if it hit the tib fib, oof, right on the base, like right there, he's hurting. It's a solo. I mean, some insurance, some things, maybe it can help. Watch out for that gravel too. But it was a solo crash. That guy didn't do anything to you. All right, so how do we focus on this? So orange stage, we're prepped and ready. We're focused on anybody wanting to pull out in front of us. We have good, we're covering our brakes so that we can easily perceive and react quicker. So we get up to here. Person is not slowing down. You have to recognize the flow of the speed of the vehicle. If they're not slowing down, you already know something's going to happen. So you have to be constantly scanning for moving objects. So right here, we can either accelerate out or apply better progressive braking. Now, the reason why he fell down, and you're going to learn this if you practice your Smart Rider drills, so you do it in a parking lot, do it under 15 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, you practice in a parking lot, is that if you have your handlebars turned and then apply the brakes, you're going to fall where you're turned. You're going to fall where you're turned. If you are turning and you feel like you need to apply the brakes, straighten up those handlebars and apply the brakes. That way your bike is balanced. So the reason why he fell down to his left is because he was in the middle of a turn and applied the brakes. That's typical what happens when you apply the brakes with the handlebars turned like that. You can accelerate out or straighten up the handlebars and apply the brakes to get yourself out of there. A lot of good lessons in this video. I love it. Good job, Moto Stars.